Before we get into today's show, do you think, after the roughly quarter-way mark of the season, that the Cowboys will make the playoffs? Get those predictions/answers in for me. Y for yes, N for no. As of filming, the Cowboys not officially done, and they might not do it for a few days. At least, well, they have to, because it'll probably come to your practice squad more than that in a little bit. But the Cowboys have not put DeMarcus Lawrence on injured reserve yet, but that is the expectation. A Lisfranc injury in his foot that is going to sideline him for 4 to 8 weeks, according to ESPN's Todd Archer. That is not good news for Dallas. The injuries have been an issue for Tank Lawrence over the years. It's a big reason why Dallas didn't extend him this past offseason, playing the final year of his contract. He was off to a solid start this year, a little inconsistent overall, but it is a big-time loss for Dallas. Coupled with the high ankle sprain for Micah Parsons, which I think put him on ice until the bye week ends anyway. That leaves you in dire straits along your pass rush group. Your defensive ends, you're already down Sam Williams, you're number 3. You're down your number 1 in Micah Parsons, you're down number 2 in Tank Lawrence. Number 5 was supposed to be Junior Fehoko. He couldn't even make the roster. That leaves Marshawn Nealon, Chauncey Golston, mostly core special teamer Tyrus Wheat, and veteran pickup Carl Lawson, who I would fully anticipate being signed to the active roster before kickoff on Sunday. You got to do some roster gymnastics here because you might need to call up a cornerback again or a DB or maybe a running back. So I would fully expect to see Carl Lawson called up from the practice squad to the game day roster, which makes sense. Now, he has spent 2 games here on the practice squad, has been called up to the active roster twice now. That would give him one more freebie to get called up to the active roster and before he has to be there full-time. So it doesn't make any sense to not call him up and make him a full-time player. You need the bodies. You need the numbers. You have to sign somebody else to the practice squad, frankly, too. You don't really have the available, because there's nobody else on the practice squad right now. You don't have the depth to not call him up. Now, Lawson hasn't done much this year. He hasn't made an impact. 2 games, no real stats there, but probably time to start considering that one. So what is the bigger loss of your 2 passers who are going to miss time? Probably at least off the bye week for Micah Parsons and longer for Tank Lawrence. Which one is the bigger loss? 11 for Micah Parsons, 90 for DeMarcus Lawrence. It is the pinned comment on today's video. So if the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. Other speculatory ideas I've seen floated out there, a couple different outlets and fandom, and I floated it too, so it's worth having the conversation. Do you need to make a change at safety? The play from, I think, both Malik Hooker and Donovan Wilson has really not been great. And different issues, miscues, I merged them into one word somehow. Neither guy has really played up to the level that I would like to see them play at. Neither guy has been impactful. It's in there. Has been dynamic. Hasn't gone the way. Wilson's missed too many tackles. Malik Hooker has made too many mistakes out there. He missed 2 plays where he just should have had a pick and misjudged it, mistimed it, and almost allowed bigger plays. Neither guy has played the way that I want them to be playing, or the way I thought that they were going to be playing. And that is highly frustrating and highly concerning as far as I'm concerned too. So now the issue you run into is, hey, when is Marquise Bell fully healthy? Because he's coming off his ankle injury. I don't know how close he was really to playing on Thursday. He might not have played on Sunday if it had the extra days anyway. The 10-day time off might make it more viable. It's clearly been Hooker and Wilson. They also made Wilson a captain after I thought, a pretty rough Week 3 performance. So I would like to experiment here. I would like to try different things and see what they're able to do and make life better for these safety, because I'm disappointed by it. I'm tired of being disappointed by this safety team. I had high expectations. I thought you had 4 NFL caliber players, and Hooker and Wilson have both been very disappointing. And if you want some better play out of your overall defense, I do think trying Wanye Thomas, trying a Marquise Bell is something that makes some sense. Today's show is made possible by Game Time. Game Time is the place for last-minute tickets to your next big event, whether that's college football, NFL, MLB postseason, concerts, comedy, theater, and anything else that falls into the bucket somewhere in between. Game Time also has a new feature called Game Time Picks. It makes tickets to your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to only show you incredible deals on great seats. Don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. It's curation designed to make your life easier, to save more on sports and everything else in between. The lowest price guarantee from Game Time is this. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. It's that simple. It's the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry through Game Time. So download the Game Time app today, create your account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. But again, create your account and redeem code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS, for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Because what time is it? It's Game Time. Links in the comments and the description of today's show. We appreciate Game Time sponsoring us here at the Cowboys Report. We've talked about this a little bit, and there's been plenty of questions on it, and fans had also suggested it, so a good time to revisit it. Benching Tyler Guyton. And I see both sides. The first side of he has not played well enough. You know, showed a lot of promise in the preseason and training camp. You felt good about him, and then the bullets have started flying in real life, and it's a different animal altogether. He's had too many penalties, which was a concern coming out of Oklahoma. The technique gets a little bit dicey at times as well. He's gotten beat too frequently. I think he's been the worst tackle on the team. I think Terrence Steele's been pretty good the past 2 weeks, frankly, but had some rough moments earlier this season. There's also a very valid question of okay, you bench him. What's your plan? Short-term and long-term. I've got thoughts on that here in a second, but first, would you bench Tyler Guyton? S, for you're gonna keep starting him. You're not doing it. B, for you want to bench him. Maybe it's just for a game. Maybe it's for longer. Let me know in the comments. S or B. Part of this whole conversation you have to have here is figuring out your plan. What are you going to do if it's not Tyler Guyton? Option 1 is just promote Awesome Richards. No other changes. Option 2 is you're going to try TJ Bass at left guard and Tyler Smith at left guard, and then you're benching Guyton and shuffling things around from that perspective. Those are 2 options you have because it's not Matt. Well, let's go. Promise you on that. Now, look, Guyton has had issues, and we all know that. He has to be better. I also believe this to be true. I think offensive lines, more than almost any unit in football, they need chemistry. And they need to have stability and consistency. When you don't have that, it is a cohesive unit. And when it's not cohesive, bad things can happen. So is Awesome Richards actually better than Tyler Guyton? Because I don't think that he is. I like him. I'm glad he's your swing tackle right now, your backup. I don't think he's a better football player right this second than Tyler Guyton is. I also want to point out this is a very valid question. If you have a new starter at left tackle and a new starter at left guard while you're still working at a new starter at center, is that actually a good thing for your offensive line? Or do you suddenly put more pressure on the interior of your offensive line because you're good at left tackle, but now your left guard center combo hasn't done much together and they get a little bit dicey, etc.? I think that could potentially cause more issues. You're creating 2 holes if you put Tyler Smith over at left tackle. Potentially, at least, creating 2 holes. Look, Tyler Guyton's raw. He's learning. This was a developmental pick. That's why it would be great to have Tyron Smith still on the team, right? And then you could let Guyton learn. So for now, and I was right to change my mind, but I think it's going to get better as the year goes on. I'd be concerned if it didn't, frankly. I'm going to keep playing him. I think the real live experience is important. Now, he's not going to get much TJ Watt this week because Watt is going to get a lot of Terrence Steele. That's where TJ Watt plays. Alex Smith is not a bad player either. So it is still going to be a challenging week, I think, for Tyler Guyton. Now, we'll have more Cowboys videos for you each and every single day. So if you haven't already, hit that sub button. YouTube.com/@CowboysTV. More free Cowboys videos every single day. I do want to talk Brandin Cooks here before we sign off for today's show. I am not happy with his performance, and I'm frankly not happy with his usage. I think those are two different things. I need to see more out of Brandin Cooks. I don't mean force feed him targets, try to get him going. I think the targets are probably okay, maybe a couple more. Let's use him properly. He has not been as good in Dallas. His numbers have declined. And we have spent back-to-back preseason training camp going, wow, the Cook-Dak connection looks great. They're hitting deep shots. They're hitting deep balls. They're making big plays happen. And then we get to the actual games, and he's in the Michael Gallup role. I don't get it. This is not how you use Brandin Cooks. He is one of your only fast players, and you consistently run comeback routes with him. It's a lot of slants. It's a lot of hitches, a lot of comeback routes. I don't like it. You put him in the Michael Gallup role, and he's like 5'9". Why? There's way too many of those comeback routes. There's not nearly enough. Do a deep dig. Do some crossers with it. Let him use his speed. There have been times Dak's been late getting the ball out. Ball's sailed high on him. It's not all Cooks' fault. He's not a contested catch guy. And when you're putting him into those contested catch situations, you're not using him right. He's been bad in contested catches this season. He's never been that great. Maybe deploy him the way he needs to be deployed. Put Tolbert in the contested catch route category. He's made a bunch of comeback plays and contested grabs for the Cowboys already this year. This is partially Brandin Cooks not playing as well, quarterback missing some throws, but most importantly, it's a coaching scheme issue. I don't understand why, Brandin Cooks comeback route, Cooks hitch. That's not a good idea. Full stop.